you're an actor, oh, now you're the actor who's on YouTube, or are you just a YouTuber? Like, have you stopped acting?
I think sometimes we want to program life to a version of ourselves that doesn't exist. And sometimes the reinventing needs the version of you that's here now.
There's only so much lying you can do before you have to be honest with yourself in order to really make the steps that you have to make.
3, 2, 1, and...
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Deliberate. If it's your first time here, my name is Dennis Ngango, and this is my safe space on the internet. As you can see, I'm not alone. I have actor, MC, film producer, DJ, dancer, philanthropist, mental health activist, and my friend Hungani Ndlovu.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Deliberate again.
Thank you.
It's not your first time here, but it's good to have you back.
It's good to have you back.
Today we're talking about reinventing yourself in your 20s.
Yeah. I feel like it's a very loaded one.
If you guys are looking forward to the video, please do make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you guys are happy to see us on your screens, make sure to comment below. And lastly, don't forget to
subscribe and click on that notification bell. I think this is right.
This is when you get nervous. Why?
Because your questions are always
where the danger is. Okay, take one.
What is the number one thing in your life that you are not doing that you wish you were? Oh, hey, Dennis.
Why are we starting with such a deep one? One thing I wish I was doing more in my life, that I think just living more. I'm someone who has lived majority of like my time in my head. I'm someone who like overthinks things. I'm someone who tries to like plan things, and I think I'm in a space in my life right now with coming back to Deliberate and all and defining eventually as well.
Yeah,
I just want to live in between that as well. I don't want to just hustle. I want to make sure I live, I experience things.
But what does that look like with like where you find yourself right now?
I think it just looks like me doing it, because I think mind-wise I'm ready, energy-wise I'm ready, heart-wise I'm ready.
Ooh.
It's just about going through.
You heard it. That's nice. That's a nice one. Please be easy.
Who's most likely to give bad advice between you and I?
Me.
Why would you say you?
I say me because I think it takes me some time to like process things.
Yeah.
And sometimes like the viewpoint that I have based on my life experience can be a little very personal to me than it being like a viewpoint that can accommodate others.
Everyone, yeah.
So I think that would be my.
I don't think that you give worse advice. I just think that it takes you longer to give that.
Yeah, but I get it, that question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, based off of that analysis, sure. I think you are just someone who you think things through, like whenever there's a challenge.
Too long, though.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Hope it's not another deep one.
Dennis, what irritates you about? It says your friend the most, so I'm going to say, what irritates you about me the most?
This question just aligns so nicely with the previous one, has a nice soft landing just to I think it's just that you spend a lot of time in your head, and then afterwards we spend a lot of time trying to get out of your head.
Sure.
It doesn't like irritate me badly, but it's like
No, but I agree with you. And I think it's also like a place that needs and is getting the attention that it needs to get.
Yeah, that's true.
So I figured that's where we were going to go.
We're gonna go.
So I'm glad we're aligned.
What's my secret talent?
Oh,
So many. So many.
I would say that your secret talent is screenwriting.
Oh, really? Thank you.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, people haven't seen it yet.
And I really hope that they get to see it. And if you do get to see it, you heard it here first.
Hey, so I think this actually aligns quite nicely with the topic of reinventing yourself and being aware of these talents that you like get in your life and trying to like position your life in a better way. Did you think that your 20s would have been so hard in that regard? Like when you were in your teenagers and you were looking, you were like, man, did you even think that?
No, not a chance. Yeah, not even slightly. I think I was in grade 7, Mitchell House Primary School, where they got us to write down. Yeah, it was a shout out. Where they got us to write down like what we want our 20s to look like, but like age by age. So like at 21, 22,
Really?
yeah. So I had written a whole bunch, and I still have the paper with me, that by 27, my life is gonna look like this. But like everything, every milestone, and like, yeah, sure, there's a few things that are there.
Yeah.
But I think if anything, like it's been a lot more difficult than I thought. And that's just based on, I don't think like let me rather say my parents, family, from cousins, etc., like share enough about like this growing, this
the growing
adulting,
yeah,
you know, because just the progression of it was not how I thought it would be, especially because I got into an industry that I never thought I would be in. So like it just like completely flipped my world around.
So then what industry did you think you were going to be a part of?
So
because your 500 jobs are literally in the entertainment industry.
yeah, everything I do is in the entertainment industry. But I was actually, so I wanted to go into engineering. And then, yeah, grade 11 happened and I was like, hey, maybe I want to dance and do the kwasa like every day, you know. So that's essentially how things changed. And because of that, and not really having foresight of what I was going into, because everything else was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna study engineering, then I'm gonna go to a family business.
Yeah.
Like it was planned out, you know. Now it was like, okay, cool, I don't have anyone that can kind of guide me. I need to figure this out for myself, especially being the first person in my family to venture into the entertainment industry. So
there was its fair like set of challenges.
Yeah, a lot of challenges.
I think the same as well, seeing that, you know, I did go the engineering route and did study that, and then seeing myself pivot into like the content creation space and even the writing space. I don't think that I was prepared enough for all the transitions that would happen in your 20s. You know, I was also someone who had a plan, maybe not by each year, but just in terms of like wanting to see myself in a certain place,
sure,
with a certain setup, and changing and reinventing myself in different industries, in different spaces, sometimes can delay you and take you away from those goals, because you need to put even more time into you transitioning.
Sure.
In between you transitioning from, you know, being an actor, being now also like a DJ, being a content creator, do you battle with those type of transitions?
Yeah, I think naturally, like, you have to find a way that works well for you, you know. And for me, like, it's not that seamless, especially because I feel like a lot of the times people want to box you, you know. It's like, no, like, you're an actor, you know. Oh, now you're the actor who's on YouTube, or are you just a YouTuber? Like, have you stopped acting?
Yeah.
And like having to navigate those things where it's like, do I have to not spend too much time in one thing so that people don't think I just do that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if when they think I just do that, if it closes the opportunities for acting because I've just been spending too much time on YouTube, or vice versa. So it's been like a difficult kind of balance. But what I'm grateful for is the stability that it's afforded me.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because just like doing one thing, especially in our economy, is really not the best of things to do, you know. So yeah, it's very challenging.
What would you say is the hardest part of reinventing yourself in your 20s?
I think firstly having to understand who I am, to then reinvent. Like,
yeah,
how am I reinventing without really knowing where I'm going from?
That's really hard, because even your understanding of self is always constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I know for certain that this is even an avenue I really want to, you know, pursue? Because from my side, I really battle with, I hate the feeling of regret, but also I hate the feeling of fear. So what must I do? But you were said.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I think for me, like, it's just really, like, because I'm in the limelight and stuff, and I got into the limelight at a point where I was still trying to figure out self. That completely changed, like, who I was, because I'm no longer, like, trying to figure out myself in the space of just being Ungani that was not known by so many people. So now, like, there's so much noise that comes in, that really affects the way one perceives themselves, So now being a father, like, it's just one thing after another, and it's like, I don't really know, do I now just prioritize the father role, or am I Hungani? Because obviously Hungani is Hungani, who's also a husband, but like, you know what I mean? So like, there's all of these different layers that I'm like trying to peel, but not to completely take off, just to understand, and then we can put it all together once we know what's actually happening.
And what's worse is, as you're trying to peel those things, they also mature as well. So they're also changing as you're changing and as you're viewing it. So
by the time you actually, it's like, oh, but I don't really feel like that anymore about this thing. So then it's like, it's a lot, and I don't know, like, where one finds the right kind of motion to reinventing, but then also again, like, what does reinventing mean? Like,
for me, reinventing looks like the end of the when you're at a crossroad.
Sure, and you have to make a decision.
You have to make a decision where it's like, am I going to stay the same as I've been, or am I going to make a decision to really work towards being the person I know I can be? Because the thing with, like, even changing careers and changing your mindset is that it sticks with you for a long time in your mind. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Sure.
It's something that, like, reminds you over and over again that, like, there's more that's out there for you.
Yeah.
And also when you get a taste of it in your life as well, you're like, I can move forward towards this. I can become this.
Yeah, I have vibes with that. I don't think right now I'm in a place of reinventing. If we go with that definition, I think if we go with that definition, I'd say I'm on the way to the crossroad, because of having to navigate the different areas of my life to then be like, okay, cool, so what is next?
But I think you have done it in your other career.
Sure, I mean, definitely.
So in that sense, I do think 20s are definitely a time to play around and just to stretch yourself and see how far you can go. Because with what we do now, I don't think that's something that we ever thought we could.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being in this space right now is not something that I even thought was a possibility, to be doing this kind of work, content. I mean, the space that we're in is not a space that I even fathomed. So it definitely, I think, is more of like an exploration time, like you're saying, to figure out things. But I also think it's like a vital time to make decisions for your life.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. Because like there'll come a time where you're no longer that age or in that decade, but the choices and the decisions you made in that decade are the ones that you're living in the next decade.
And that's so profound, because it's like reinvention doesn't need to be this drastic makeover. It can just be daily decisions that are working more towards what you want and what you need and what you believe in.
And I think if you make it a daily decision kind of thing, that kind of, if I can say in my opinion, takes away the great pressure that comes with reinventing oneself, because it starts with just small decisions that eventually will lead to bigger decisions that you make. So I agree with that.
So if there's one thing you could say to someone starting their journey someone who just listened to our conversation and was like, you know what, it's been going down, the pressure has been getting worse. What's some piece of advice you can give them as the multi-talented African superstar?
Come now. I always struggle with this thing of like giving advice to people, especially because like you never really know who's watching and the circumstances that they have.
Yeah.
And like the advice that I give comes from the plate that I've been dealt, and like I don't know if your plate is half broken, if it's cracked, if it's straight from the dishwasher, if it's a paper plate. Like I don't know what kind of plate you've been given, but I think from my perspective, if someone's going on that type of journey, I would encourage you to be true to yourself. Like there's only so much lying you can do before you have to be honest with yourself in order to really make the steps that you have to make. Like you can want to reinvent yourself into this whatever that you believe that you can be, and like that's good on you, but how honest have you been about that as well? Like even the future self, like is that really a true reflection of the future self that you can be, or is that just a desire based on society, or based on what your friends are doing, or based on what your parents want for you? So I think just being true to yourself as you journey is probably going to be the best thing you can do for yourself, because you get to identify what your circumstances are. You get to identify the plate you've been dealt with, and that will allow you to maneuver accordingly.
And I think a sense of self-awareness is really important, because if that is not there, you're then pushing yourself back instead of moving yourself forward. And you're already going into like uncharted territory. So it's really important that you're steadfast in how you perceive yourself, even in that moment. I think sometimes we want to program life to a version of ourselves that doesn't exist, and sometimes the reinventing needs the version of you that's here now. With deliberate, I'm needed right now in the sense of my faith not being perfect, and I need to be honest and working with that now. I can't say I can only be here when things are at its best.
Sure.
The advice I would definitely give to myself is to not undermine the power of focus. I think focus is something that's really important and will always work in your favor. Because there's so many distractions, because there's so many missing pieces, that doesn't mean that you have nothing to work with.
Sure.
You just need to zoom in and see, a bit more of what you have access to. That was really incredible advice. The episode just came
full circle. I mean, what? Where was that question?
But anyway, guys, let us know your opinions, your views about reinventing yourselves in your 20s. Where can everyone catch you on social media, my friend?
You can catch me at Hungani Ndlovu on all platforms, and you can catch me and my wife at the Ndlovus Uncut on not all platforms. Just stick to YouTube and Instagram. Issue.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into the video. You can also catch me everywhere at Dennis Ngango. This was a lot of fun. Let us know your thoughts about this conversation in the comment section below. If you're happy to see us on your screens, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want Hungani to come back, you can let me know that too. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And also share it.
Yeah, share.
Yeah.
Notification gang. Everything.
Come on now.
And Sancho Ludi!